Dear guests, thank you for making the time today for this, what we are trying to understand that everyone is speaking about, luxury living, brand residence. Engineer Sultan, allow me to start with you. What are the key characteristics that makes the KSA market viable, suitable for the luxury and branded residence concept?
Okay, first of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Saudi today is a big moving country in terms of the evolvement of real estate and quality of life. And it has a huge aspired community that want to belong to such brands. So for example, we as lifestyle developers, when we first started in our development, we were doing residential projects that were homegrown, that are purely Saudi made. And then we realized that the world became more connected. Today's world is very connected. The consumers, if you go to any high street around the world today, you will see familiar brands. Even whether it's a Riyadh, whether it's a Dubai, whether it's a Jeddah, whether it's in London, whether it's in New York, you will see the same brands. So people belong to these brands for multiple reasons, whether they like them from look and feel, whether they believe in their credibility. You understand me? Or whether they like the services they offer. So branded residence has a huge part in Saudi Arabia.
Do you think Saudi Arabia is good enough to is normal?
And yet, really,
Do you think that the Saudi Arabian market is credible enough to attract these brands?
to the fact of,
Tracking now.
yes, for sure. So I'll give you a few examples. So for us as lifestyle developers, we were one of the first pioneers to go and break branded residence. So we partnered with UYO of London, which is the largest non-market branded business. We launched our project here in Jeddah, and in Q1 we're launching a new project with Philips Stark, so G20, G plus 34 floors, full of amenities and unbelievable experiences. And then you see the eye today, you see Jeddah, there is Raffles, there is Piaia, there's the Batterjee, there is Four Seasons, there's the Ritz Carlton. But I just want to mention something because people always associate branded residence with luxury. But I believe branded residence started with luxury brands because the developers budget credibility to the buyers because it says safety. My investment is going to be safe if I invest in a very renowned brand like Four Seasons, like a Ritz Carlton. And also they know the experience because they've experienced the hotel. So there's to be reality. But then what's happening today is branded residences are mostly exactly like brands. You can compare it to the clothing brands. You don't always have to buy Europeana or Brioni or whatever you want to buy. People are buying brands that can connect with their budget, but also connects with their experience. So brands now, especially in the hotel conglomerates, whether it's Marriott or any of them, have like 30, 40 brands. And now they're starting to pursue some of the other brands, which are non-luxury, to start being branded business. And the same thing is happening with the architects. There are architects now that are designing products that are also selling branded residence. There are fashion clothing brands that are also now starting to offer branded residence. So the dimension or the demographics of the market today is extremely changing, especially that the market is very well connected from social media. If you look at Saudi Arabia has a population of 70% for people from 18 to 33 years old. And they are number one or two or three on all social media platforms across the world. Imagine the power of the Saudi population and connectivity. So what does that mean? This means that their connectivity to the awareness of the purchasing transaction is very high. They really know what they want and they are well exposed to what the market has to offer. So when you talk about branded residence, if you found, it's not one size fits all. So you can't say I want to do branded residence with this scale everywhere. What will happen in Saudi is that you will have a branded residence related to wellness. You will have a branded residence related to sports. You will have a branded residence related to fashion. You will have a branded residence related to retreats. So it depends. Al-Ula branded residence is not going to be like Riyadh branded residence. Wise branded residence is not going to be the same as Ajmani or whatever in the Emirates. So the branded residence market is completely evolving based on the consumer's needs. And this is exactly what we're doing. So, for example, the projects that we're launching now, we've launched one, and we're launching Carbon and one at Saudi, which is a very unique project. We did not target ultra high net worth individuals because we wanted to continue with what lifestyle was made for. Lifestyle was made for raising the standards of living and creating spaces that connect people with places that inspire happy lives. This is what we do. So in order to do that, for quality of life, you have to create an accessible product. So when we offer our You by Start, Philip Start is one of the most famous architects in the world. We wait and we brought in these design projects like the SLS Hotel, like Madrid, like Baccarat. But we came with him, Musan, at the table. He said, we want to create a lifestyle product that has amenities, that's aspire for people who purchase it, and gives a sense of exclusivity, but also gives a sense of accessibility. So our square meter is not at the high end, ultra high end of the market compared to the brand investors that are there, and they are in the middle. So you get what you want for as a person that wants branded residence, but also you get accessibility.
So yes, he's much used now. Cyril, do you think the KSA market is attract these renovators? Can you hear? Just salaam It's a great pleasure to you. As a general format, I would actually say this: the current the market of branded residences was on a early stage. However, whatever amount of Saudi Arabia is putting in place, region went to first it are the necessary ecosystem for the development of the branded residences. That's not general general there is of the kingdom. Now, if we want to be more specific, Pedro, I would say I see 4 drivers of the brand residences in the kingdom, and why the kingdom is fit for that. The first driver, and engineer Shika has really well described it, is about the young generation of Saudis. They are very, very well spot on. What is a nice product? What is a nice location? What are the nice issues? What is a nice friend? And what is the value they can get out of this? They are traveling goods. There's money, they are high-level boosted. And this population would be a key driver of the book ready residence of the year. I would say that's part of the first. The second one that I see is Friday Pistol. FTR Ketal Handy. Is it the Hindu preparing a foreign policy rule? And what that do with the impulsion? Basically, they review perhaps for foreign investment or the connected to keep up to invest. Basically, with the new system, new regulation, the technology placed by the banks, such as IHCC, the IHCC platform, any investor coming invest with a branded residences and make sure that the renter is the one whole, because all the rest of the BD are linked to the IHCC platform, which this will be so. On top of that, you have much higher sheets, which you are paying residences. So that will be a huge attractive point for foreign investors. FTI, as well as local expatriates that are actually fully invested in the kingdom. For example, by an and visa property. So we say that's the second driver. The third driver is international tourism. Why is it so linked to tourism and branded residences? Because those travelers that are usually a type of travelers that are in the kingdom, when they stay in as you were actually the Rafah, the Four Seasons, whatsoever, in the most creative component, usually next door picks who say, you have a branded residencies, pages. And when you are staying there, you immediately, it's not about the product, it's about the experience. When you are staying in the Ritz Carlton or in the Four Seasons, and you enjoy as a tourist the experience, what is the first thing that you would or that your wife, the hospitality, is to buy a property? So I think this tribal international tourism would be passive The kingdom has huge reputation for welcoming users to the kingdom, and that really push the person's pocket. And then I would say the fourth dry ground that he's not tweeted like this, but I think that his first one is peak bringing tourism. Of course, Jeddah and Ribeiro is a gateway for all the blessings of Mecca and Jeddah. And you have a massive number of Muslims around the world. I think Muppets did a map around the world who are eager to buy a property. So and those people actually happen really. They are either configured here for Indonesia, for everywhere else. So as far as the regulation will be more friendly to those type of pistol will be easy, but friendly residents.
So much as you. There's so many opportunities. There are also having some challenges. What would be the key challenges to all it?
Well, the challenges postposed, I'll say there is no opportunity with the challenges. But I do believe it's Sultan. Opportunities are much more than challenges. But if I have pizza, I would like to say that when a foreign brand we were king about focusing on. So when they come to the kingdom to grab the residents, they need to take into account the local feeling, the local culture, and the way people are living. Like for example, privacy, family building. That's very important. If you come from citizenship like the US, here without taking it proper, all the Saudis and the new order Saudis are baby, you will miss the point. So that's one. The second one is, of course, is foreign or country. With the the law, we are dying that this laws in issue. And that will push big time for analysis. And then Cuban media, one of the challenge is the economic cycle of the oil. Because for the dollar to be able to develop the X, sure, for running risk, let's see. Like those who dig up projects like Ritz. You really saw support suddenly something up. So it's spiky to the oil price. So maybe it's that I guess just the oil price. And then probably the last three particulars is Chateau, ability and capabilities. I immediately the store, we need more and more contracting capabilities to be able to deliver those projects but to the right standard. Because again, ready residence is about of fishes and the right standard. So if you don't have the right contractors, you can have pretty tension, but we will not care about it very well. So that's how I would say you have shared before. And the maturity of the market. The market is not partial.
So yes, we would see that in some level. And Emaar, thank you so much. Fabrice, you heard Sultan, you heard Cyril, our thoughts of the Saudi Arabian market run reference.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. My opinion is also that the cities are reinventing themselves. They were sprawling out, and now they're participating again. Over the 60s, 70s, 80s, the trips went to other property outside of the city, the core city, and the city became buildings,
Mostly businesses, insurance companies, etc. But now, for the past 10 years, cities are again concentrating the center. The young generation, you don't want to travel, they want to have hats, and they want everything available around. They want the museum, they want the attractions, they want sightseeing. So the city now, the core is once again expanding. And I think it's great for the service residences because they offer all of these. You can have a spa and all the services without basically giving your own residence. And if you need some, it's just road much. The transportation means also are evolving. You see, in Riyadh, there is not this air metro. So the city have been rethought to be again populated within, which is a great, it's great. And when you see NEOM, the development with the line and the system, the metro system that will be connecting through the ground, basically each buildings, one after the other, to limit the impact, the social and also the ecological impact is great and great for the future. Also, by having this, you can recreate a city that is very different than it used to be. Now, if you go to Singapore, you see a lot of green buildings with vegetation on the building. So the branded residents have a good, can play a very big part of that.
especially you bring the brand recognition, you bring, as Sultan say, the quality, the service that is well known. So it's, I think it's all good for that.
Thank you so much, Fabrice. Engineer Sultan, which are the cities that you consider in the KSA market that are fitting to attract this well-known branded residence?
In Saudi?
In Saudi.
I think this is a question that people always say Riyadh and Jeddah and Khobar, but what actually is happening is that the Saudi market, from a real estate superstructure point of view, has only started, in my opinion, 7 to 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Before that, it was mainly lands and selling large lands and selling parcels and people building on their own. But if you go to Cityscape, for example, now in Riyadh last week, and you see the developers and what they're doing now, I can tell you there are real Saudi developers that are developing communities and developing projects. And what happens is that it's called the evolution cycle of real estate. And in the evolution cycle of real estate, it starts in the beginning by whatever product you offer, people buy, you know. But then when competition increases, you have to start adding and innovating and increasing and adding uniqueness to the projects. And you will see this happen more and more in Saudi now. And this is why we're talking about branded residence now. Because people now have reached the normal residential quality is available. So now what next? How can I live a more, not necessarily more ultra high net worth life, how can I live a more specialized custom life?
So
how can I live something, I'm coming to answer. How can I come to a place where it relates to me, where it talks to me, where it talks to my personality as Sultan, where it talks to my age, where it talks to my likes, where it talks to my hobbies, where it talks to my pocket also. How much can I spend? So what will happen is you will find that different cities will play a role according to what their uniquenesses are, right? So you look at Riyadh, it's going to offer you specific products in the center of Riyadh. But when you go in the historical city of Riyadh, it will offer you different types of products. You look at the outskirts, the same thing. Jeddah has the same thing. Khobar has the same thing. But guess what? Al-Ula also has the same thing. The south of Saudi, Asir or Abha has the same thing. Taif has the same thing. Multiple locations, Ha'il, Al-Hassa, different locations depending on the buyer needs. And it is a secondary home, is it a primary home, is it the main house, is it a golf resort, is it a beach resort, what is it? So I think the opportunity is endless, honestly, if you talk about from my point of view. But sky's the limit, but also you have to crawl and walk and run. In anything you do, you have to crawl, and then you have to walk, and you have to run. So what the highest chances of success with these type of products are going to be in the beginning in the main cities. Why? Because of the demographics of the cities, and they're more cosmopolitan, and they have a higher population, and they have a higher purchasing power. So you have to start in the big cities first, so that people understand the product, and they have experienced the product, and then when you launch as a Saudi developer or as a Saudi developer that has collaborated with an international brand, or you will be able to gain the trust of them. I'll tell you what we did, for example. What we did is that we created our own projects in the beginning in residential as standalone. And then we created investments in the hospitality arm. So we went into hotels. So we launched a local brand, a Saudi local brand with the Marriott Autograph in Saudi. So it's a Saudi brand. Then we went into the office space, and we created a few office examples. Then we went into the retail space. And now what are we doing? We are creating holistic lifestyle destinations in Saudi that are already under construction or they are in the making now. And what's the next move with this? Is to take the lessons learned from these destinations and replicate them in the secondary cities in Saudi according to the demand and the wants and needs of these secondary cities in Saudi.
What do you think it will be the overall residential market impact attracting these branded residents? Do you think it will be a positive impact, a negative impact?
For?
Attracting And the overall...
I think that Saudi is an unbelievable country. I don't want to say it because I'm Saudi, but I think Saudi is a giant that has awakened, and it is like shaking things around and really doing a great job in terms of positioning. We're not copying anybody else. And that's very important. We are carving our own footprint, our own plan. And people know what Saudi is doing and how Saudi is different. And the unique thing about Saudi is Saudi was a closed market for a very long time. Huh? People are drooling to see what is this country. You understand? They want to be part of this country. And what's happening is that you have a 1.5 billion Muslims around the world. 1.5 billion, if not more, that want to be in Saudi for multiple reasons. One of them is religious tourism. Second, it was only religious tourism. Huh? Now it became quality of life, and it became lifestyle, and it became entertainment. It became multiple things. So you can come and do what? You can come and enjoy your spiritual part, and you can even enjoy this life by your kids enjoying and being entertained. So what's going to happen is that you're going to find people buying properties in Saudi from all around the world. Because they want to be part, and especially this 1.5 billion Muslims, and others also. Because it will be the hub for them to work and play and live. But like I said, it's a gradual movement. People have to believe and see what's happening, and it is happening. Before we used to say the future, now it's the future that has occurred. There are live examples on the ground of projects and communities in Saudis that people can experience.
So, thank you so much, Engineer Sultan. Cyril, what do you think, in your view, will be the impact of attracting these branded residents?
Yeah, so just to complement on Sultan for the city, obviously the key cities in the kingdom are attracting Riyadh, the political center, a lot of money there, Rabat, the proximity to Bahrain, the oil business, and Jeddah, the Red Sea, and the gateway to the Mecca and Medina. But I would like to say what is very important for the maturity of the branded residences is infrastructure and density. So what will be, in my opinion, the driver with regard to the location in the kingdom is the places that will succeed to put forward the infrastructure, the world-class infrastructure that is necessary as a first step to welcome those branded residences and those brands. The last thing you want is to start building a branded residence in the middle of nowhere, where there is no connection to water, to MEP, to sewage, to telecom, high-speed internet, and so on. So infrastructure is one of the big things that has to come first, and the government is putting a lot on that, creating even new destinations like Asir, like Aba, like a city like King Abdullah Economic City as well, like Neom and Red Sea. And second is the density, because you are not building for building. If you're building branded residences but there is no life, there is no community, you are a dead man. It will not fly. And there are many examples around the world where they focused on real estate, building, but they totally forgot about the community. So what you need to ensure is that you developed in a rhythm that is always ensuring critical mass and density in the place you are. Why? Because density and critical mass is generating the footfall of people for the businesses around the community to succeed. So this adequation between location, infrastructure, and community density, critical mass is for me essential for finding the right location for branded residences.
Let me understand. So you think that with all that's happening projects-wise in Saudi Arabia, there's still a huge urge to attract more people to come, fix, and live and work in Saudi?
Yeah, that will be the challenge, but that's also the very exciting part. As Sultan was saying, I am blessed to be in that country since many years and to see the transformation that is going absolutely in the right direction. That's amazing. So I am totally convinced that there will be a huge influx from foreign people living here because they feel good. They feel that it has a value to live here and they will be connected to the world. So I'm very actually positive on the way forward.
Thank you so much, Cyril. Fabrice, what are your thoughts?
I totally agree. I think Saudi as a whole is a rough diamond that need to be polished. The infrastructure need to be first, as everywhere. So once everything going to be done properly, and allow the transportation to flow easily. The Corniche, for example, is a fantastic area. It could be like the Croisette in Cannes, so everybody want to have, its piece of the Red Sea. You have beautiful views. Riyadh, of course, the central economic and political center. So I think there is a bright future for Saudi and for the service residents and luxury service residents.
How do you see this branded residence market evolving for the next 5-10 years?
I mean, it's already evolving. It's already coming stronger and stronger. I can speak for myself, for my company. We have signed with, sorry, I cannot disclose, DA, but with one of the big companies that will bring residencies in Hopewell. So we are looking, I'm sure Sultan just mentioned Philip Stark, so we are not the only one aiming at that and developing that because it's a growing market. I think it's about 171% for the past the growth rate for the past 2 years or 3 years. So it's a tremendous potential for that.
Engineer Sultan, what do you think will be the branded residence markets for the next 5-10 years?
I think that the market will be definitely evolving, and with matureness, it will start becoming more specialized. And you won't have just like general offerings. Now you're getting like, okay, a branded residence by, I don't want to mention brands, but they're very similar, right? The difference is the location, but the product is 80% similar, right? So, but what will happen in the next 5 years is that you will start having more customized experiences. So I'll tell you what we did. So what we did is that we took the market by gradual movement. So we took it, because it's a learning curve. And we started with these residential, and then we started with the branded residential. Now we created the hospitality arm, and our new locations will have all of these components, and we're talking to the Marriott, we're talking to Accor, we're talking about others, in taking their brands, but we're also talking to them about what? About creating our own brands. Why? Because when you create your own brands that are born from this region to that specific location, it starts becoming more personal. And the world today, from a consumer behavior point of view, wants more specialization. The consumer today wants to feel more, not only special, but they want to feel that they had their own fingerprint and they had a custom impact on the product before they buy the product, and especially the aspiring community. So the people that aspire to become better, they will not do a transaction until they belong to the product. The product has to speak to them, and they have to feel their impact on that product. So if you relate to these communities that are breaking in, I don't want to call them cults, but you can call them different biking community, hiking community, wellness community, motorbiking community, sports community, snorkeling community, diving community, fashion community, architects community, design, all of those developers will start creating destinations for them. Why? Because they want to have a community base. So for example, in Dubai now, we're developing a project in Dubai now that is a co-living project, right? Co-living projects, we've created a co-living brand because we've realized that people want to belong to similar like-minded people around them. Why? Because they want to have that work-life balance approach. They want to have that quality of life balance approach. And the human being in 2024 is not the same human being that was there in 1992. People today, especially after COVID, they've realized that they have to live more of a life that they can enjoy.
Thank you.
People want to enjoy their life today.
We are almost finalizing. My last question goes to Cyril. Cyril, you were many years the CEO of one of the biggest transformational projects that are happening in Saudi Arabia. What will be your message for these international players that are not yet in the kingdom? What would you say to them to make them come and invest and come to the Saudi Arabian projects?
Yeah, a very good question. I would tell them, all of you guys around the world who don't know Saudi,
come and visit Saudi. I never had any investor, any guest from whatever horizon, for whatever country, who came to Saudi and who was not just mind blown when they came back. And I would love that people stop talking about Saudi without knowing Saudi, especially the media. You have to come here, you have to visit and see what's happening and the fantastic transformation that is going on. So come, visit, and have the experience of Saudi. That's the first thing. On the branded residencies that you were mentioning, how I see it in the next 5 years, I just wanted to comment on that. I do believe if you compare standalone residential versus branded residences, there will be soon an oversupply of standalone real estate in the next 5 years, next 10 years. You see the massive project from NHC, from all those big players in cityscape. So there will be obviously an oversupply, and branded residences will be the way to differentiate yourself, to bring a different experience, a different product, a different location, and that will actually help actually keep pushing the market up, branded residences. So I think that's really the way forward, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, Cyril. With this, we end this session. I would like to thank you, all the three guests today, for your insights today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.